Sometimes it's not just the words we write that save us, it's the people who stand quietly beside us, humming the tune of our heart when we forget how to sing it. This is the story where the light slips in, a story of burnout, love, and quiet healing created by Pacampara. If this tale stirred something in you, a memory, a dream, or a truth, our Ko-fi, Amazon, and Patreon links are in the description. Support helps us keep writing for you and the ones you hold dear. The cafe smelled of toasted almonds and coffee grinds, and outside rain tapped softly on the window pane. A gentle reminder that the world could be slow if you let it. Jess sat at his usual corner table, the one near the little bookshelf where no one bothered to return books properly. His laptop sat open, screen half filled with a paragraph he had written at least 5 times. The cursor blinked at him, pulsing like a heartbeat. But his own heart felt heavy. He managed the farms, the stores, the PC bank, the toy shop. He scheduled the uploads, edited the videos, and answered the emails, worried about the finances and the quiet hours. When the world slept, he wrote, or at least tried to. His novel had waited, patient and unfinished, like a lover on the other end of an unanswered letter. Jess ran his hand through his hair. Why can't I finish this? Why does it feel like the more I love it, the harder is it to hold? He sighed, maybe he should just leave. Maybe today wasn't the day. Maybe tomorrow. Opa, a soft voice called from the counter. Wee In, with her warm eyes and the kind of smile that felt like home after a storm, was wiping down mugs. He caught his glance and grinned, lifting her eyebrows as if to say, I see you. She didn't push him, she never did. A moment later, Jess heard it, soft, almost like the cafe itself was exhaling. Wee In was humming a wordless tune, something made of afternoon light and spilled sugar and cracked open hearts. It was the kind of melody that didn't need words because it already knew yours. He closed his eyes. The sound tugged at a thread deep inside, pulling loose memories. There was Young sitting on the floor of their apartment late one night. She was in her pajamas, hair still damp from a shower, drawing little suns on a scrap of paper. Jess had sat slumped against the couch, eyes red from staring at his draft too long. I'm ruining it, Young, he said hoarsely. Young had looked up, her smile small but sure. Maybe it's not ruined, maybe it's just waiting for you to love it again. She'd scooted beside him, pressing her head against his shoulder. You love so hard, Jess, but you don't leave much for yourself. And Buell, fierce, funny Buell, dragging him out on a morning when he wanted to hide under the blankets. Coffee or walk and air now, she ordered, glasses on, hands on her lips, or I will physically carry you outside. He groaned, but she'd pulled him by the arm, a grin playing at her mouth on the walk. She'd slung an arm around him. Look, genius, stop making it precious. You don't have to bleed on every page. Just write, we're here when you're going to screw it up, and we're here when you'll nail it. His heart twisted. They believed in him when he couldn't even lift his own gaze to the mirror. What if I let them down? What if the noble's no good? What if I've run out of words? His phone buzzed quietly on the table. He almost didn't answer, but when he saw the name Young, just let out a breath, shaky. I don't know if I can do this. A pause, then gently said, you don't have to do it all tonight. I'm scared it won't matter, that it won't be good enough. Young's voice dropped to a hush like a lullaby meant just for him. Yes, it matters because you are the one writing it, and I know how much of your heart is in it, and that's already enough. He closed his eyes, letting her words settle over his chest like a blanket. I miss you, he murmured. I know, she whispered, we all do. Come home when you're ready. Jess rubbed his temples, staring at the screen. The words were jammed, his thoughts spiraling again. He let out a quiet groan, dropping his forehead to the table. A soft clink sounded by his elbow. When he lifted his head, a cup of warm tea waited beside him, steam curling like a small patient hand. Wayne sat down across from him, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. She tilted her head, her smile small but steady. You're allowed to ask for help, you know. Just half out of breath. Help won't write this for me, Jess said. I know, she murmured, but maybe it can help you remember why you wanted to write it. He blinked at her, surprised by the quiet wisdom in her voice. Wingin wasn't always and usually the one to give big speeches. She hummed, she comforted, she showed up, but now she met his gaze, soft and unwavering. You don't have to be brilliant every second, she said. You just have to be you, and honestly, she grinned faintly. That's been more enough for all of us. Just let out a shaky laugh, rubbing at his face. God, you're so sneaky. I'm adorable, we corrected, beaming, and I make the best tea. Jess reached across, covering her hand briefly, saying thank you, Win. She squeezed back, eyes crinkling. Write it, Jess. We're already proud. As she rose and returned to the counter, her humming floated back to him. Soft, familiar, grounding. Jess felt his shoulders lower. His fingers hovered above the keyboard. Heart lighter. He could do this. He began to type. The hours slipped by unnoticed. Customers came and went. The rain eased into mist. The novel unfolded. Broken chapters mended. Characters found their voices. An ending long awaited kissed the page. It was done. He leaned back, a laugh escaping his throat. It was shaky, full of disbelief, but it was real. His chest felt lighter, and for the first time in weeks, his mind stopped buzzing. Later that evening, Jess stood in the kitchen, whisking eggs and folding butter into the flour. He could have bought them something, but that felt wrong. This had to be by his hands, his thanks, his love in the small form of a cake. Vanilla and strawberry, just how we liked. Young would pretend to pass over the sweetness, and Buell would swipe icing when no one looked. Just smiled imagining it. When they gathered, laughter spilling over like coffee in a too small cup, Wayne squeezed his hand. You finished it, didn't you? She said softly. And Jess only nodded, his throat too tight for words. And as the night deepened, and the last crumbs were eaten, the house smelled of warm sugar and stories, Jess realized something. It was never about finishing the novel. It was about remembering why he started it. For them, for himself, for the love threaded quietly through it all. The rooftop was cool under their feet, the hush of the city rising like a quiet song beneath them. Jess leaned against the rail, his hands wrapped around the mug, still faintly warm from tea. Behind him, the girls laughed softly, their voices waving into the night like old lullabies. Wayne slipped beside him, her small hand brushing his arm as she gazed upward. Young joined on his other side, looping her arm through his, resting her cheek into his shoulder. Buell sprawled out on a blanket behind them, hands folded under her head, grinning at nothing and everything. The stars blinked above, not brilliant, not grand, but enough. Jess let out a slow breath. For once, his mind was quiet. They carried him here, every word written, every moment he wanted to quit, and every time the weight had felt too much, they had been his light. I never really do anything alone, do I? He murmured. Young squeezed his arm. You don't have to. Buell's voice floated up lazily from the blanket, saying, even when you're stubborn, you idiot, we're stuck to you. Ween chuckled and softly, almost under her breath, she hummed again, the tune from the cafe. But this time Jess heard the shape of words that had never been sung, words that seemed meant only for him. When you're tired, I'll be your quiet. When you're lost, I'll be your way. When you fall, I'll be the laughter that lifts you back each day. Jess felt his eyes sting, but he smiled. He tipped his head back, letting the night fill his chest. Above them, the skies weren't perfect. Some dim, some trembling, some barely holding on, but together they made the sky. And Jess thought maybe that's how it was with people too. Every one of them carried part of his light, and maybe, just maybe, he carried theirs too. This piece is dedicated to my dearest sunshine, Kim Yong-sun. Please show her your love and support on her channel, Solarcido. She's the heart behind so much of the light I share here. If you enjoy poems, short stories, and heartfelt journeys like this one, stay a while and see if any of my work resonates with you. I'd love for you to consider subscribing if you find a piece of your heart here. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what new story formats or poems you'd love to see. Your voice helps shape this growing storybook we're building here. Thank you for walking this world with me. Have a nice day.